Okay, folks, welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. We're live once again. Um, if you're new here, we do this every Friday night, and I'm glad that you're here if you're new here. And if you are, please type something in the comments. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. I said we do this every Friday night. I go over some of the tech stories from the week. And every week I tell you, I try to find whatever big stories. If there's a big presentation, I let you know about it. Other than that, I come up with stories that I think you guys might be interested in and interest me. And Eleanor just popped in. Hey, Eleanor, glad you're here. You're the first one in. So Eleanor's one of the great faithful ones. And here's Annette, one of the other great faithful ones. Two of my best subscribers. Glad you're both here. So like I said, if you're new, I'm going to show you the show notes for the week. We find them on my website. So I will share screen and let you see that. And we'll go over the show notes for tonight's show. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, if you click on today's date, you'll get just the show notes for tonight. And while we're here, as I do every week, I'll give you a little preview of what we're going to talk about. Now, if I missed any big stories, I didn't see any monstrous stories or any big presentations this week, you guys let me know if I missed something. But all the stories this week are stories I just thought might be interesting. So I just found this one yesterday. Intel is about to lay off 15% of its workforce, even though their AI stuff is doing just fine, but I guess the rest of the stuff, not so great. So I found that story on CNBC, and but there's a bunch of stories already about that from today also. So we'll go over that. And then we've been keeping up with net neutrality for the last couple of years, and I had said a few weeks ago that I thought Ms. Rosenwasser, who's the head of the FCC right now, is very user-friendly and, dedicated to actually helping us as the public with our net neutrality. But I put the highlight. I wrote in net neutrality put on hold by the Sixth Circuit. So that's on the verge. So it's kind of blocked for the moment. So it's up in the air once again. So I thought that was a pretty good story to go over, since that's been an ongoing thing for us for the last few years. And then Apple Intelligence. Well, for us, it's AI. For Apple, it's Apple Intelligence. I said a hit after iOS 18.1 beta release. So it's on the iOS 18.1 beta. I don't have it, but I'm seeing very positive videos about it. So I just thought we'd talk about it and let you get a quick look at what's in there. And that'll be coming to all of us who have iPhones in next month, I guess. So, and after that, I found an Amazon story. Consumer Product Safety Commission final decision holds Amazon responsible for inadequate faulty products recall. So this investigation has been going on for a while, and the CPSC has been warning Amazon that they have to do more to let the public know when there's a recall. And we don't know what kind of fine they're going to get. Yes, Louis Rossmann has been on this for a while, and he saw this story when it came out this week, and he's kind of waiting to see, okay, let's see what kind of penalty, because he's saying some of these other huge companies, they get some charge against them like this, and nothing happens. They end up paying nothing half the time. So we're going to wait and see. And Louis Rossmann has, in the last year or so, I've noticed he's done a number of stories about really faulty stuff coming off of Amazon, and the quality is just getting worse and worse and worse. So I guess we'll be seeing more of that type of stuff. And then I found the story ASML, which is one of the big chip providers, or they make stuff for chips to be made. And the restrictions against selling stuff to Chinese isn't going to affect them and some of their partners. So they're pretty happy about that. And their stock is going up because of it. So I just thought that was a quick story to check out. And then finally, I said I find stories that I think just might be interesting. Will Taco Bell AI make you say yum or yuck? I found that on Gizmodo. And for those of you who don't know, it was for me, it was me being funny. I said yum because who owns Taco Bell? Well, Yum Brands owns Taco Bell, and I think KFC and a few others. But anyway, that's, my humor. So I just thought that was an interesting little story because they're going to be putting AI more and more on the drive-thrus. So that should be interesting. And okay, nothing else new in the comments. Comes in, I will let you know. Now, last week, Ted came in right after I finished the last story. So maybe he'll get here a little earlier if he's coming in this week. And of course, we never know about Will. And we know Mike is out making money with his DoorDash. So, to the first story. Intel to lay off 15% of its workforce. And we'll go on CNBC and take a look at that. Intel to cut 15% of workforce, reports quarterly guidance miss. And this was from yesterday, and it was by Jordan Novett. So let's drop this into Reader View and get rid of some of these ads. Okay, and there's the CEO. Intel shares slid as much as 20% in extended trading on Thursday after the chip maker said it would lay off 15% of its employees as part of a $10 billion cost reduction plan and reported lighter results than analysts had envisioned. If you're not meeting what they're expecting, you're in trouble. The company also said that it will not pay, now this is big deal stuff here, that it will not pay its dividend in the fiscal fourth quarter of 2024, and that it will lower full-year capital expenditures by over 20%. Now, when you get to the point where you're not paying dividends to your stockholders, that's a really big deal, and that's a really serious issue. Here's how the company did compared to LSEG analyst estimates. Earnings per share, 2 cents adjusted versus 10 expected. So that's way lower than what was expected. Revenue, $12.83 billion versus $12.94 billion expected. So not too far away, but below what was expected. So, of course, it hurts them. Intel's revenue declined 1% year over year in the fiscal second quarter, which ended on June 29th, according to a statement. The company swung to a $1.61 billion net loss, or 38 cents per share, from net income of $1.48 billion, or 35 cents a share, in the year earlier period. A decision to more rapidly produce Core Ultra PC chips that can handle artificial intelligence workloads contributed to the loss, CEO Pat Gelsinger said in a conference call with analysts. And there's Brian being so faithful. Glad you're here, brother. You're here on the first story. And as always, contributing. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. We previously signaled that our investments, I can't make sense out of this. We previously signaled that our investments, expected to be fine, and drive the AI PC category with pressure margins in the near term, Gelsinger said. We believe the trade-offs are worth it. The AI PC will grow from less than 10% of the market today to a greater than 50% in 2026. So they're still betting on the AI stuff like many other companies are. And as far as Intel goes, That's what's been keeping them afloat. People are very happy with their AI stuff so far. Additionally, Intel decided to more quickly move Intel 4 and 3 chip wafers from a plant in Oregon to one in Ireland. A lot of people go to Ireland because it's very tax-friendly, very, very tax-friendly, one of the friendliest on earth. Renz is here. Renz, glad you could make it, brother. I don't know if you're at work or on your way to work, but always glad when you're here. Yeah, he says he always apologizes. I understand this is a work day for you. It's 12 hours ahead. So he's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning already out in the Philippines. Brian said, got to dip out for family events. Catch the replay there. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for dropping in. And thanks, as always, for the donation. And of course, he said, what up, Renz? Anyway, Renz is one of our most faithful, but like I said, he works every Saturday morning, and we're always happy when he gets in here. Okay, back to the story. So they moved them to Ireland, which will lead to a higher cost in the short term, but a wider gross margin later, said Dave Zinsser, the company's financial chief. So they're moving 2 of their chip wafers making to a plant in Ireland. Plus, pricing was more competitive than planned during the quarter, Zinsser said. AMD, Qualcomm, and other companies have been working to take market share from Intel. Yeah, that's for sure. Intel's client computing group that makes PC chips contributed to $7.41 billion in revenue, up 9%. See, I told you they were doing well with the AI stuff. And right around the $7.42 billion consensus among analysts surveyed by the Street Accountants. So they were very close to what was expected. The company said results tied to AI-friendly PC chips exceeded internal expectations. See, that's what's keeping them afloat. And we're on a path for over 40 million unit shipments in 2024. The data center and AI unit posted $3.5 billion in revenue. The result was down 3% and lower than the $3.14 billion Street Accountant consensus. For the fiscal third quarter, Intel called for an adjusted net loss, and this is where it hurts, of 3 cents per share on a $12.5 billion to $13.5 billion in revenue. That implies LSEG analysts expected adjusted net earnings of 31 cents per share on a $14.35 billion in revenue. Zinsser said data center revenue should grow sequentially in the second half of the fiscal year. It better, as demand for traditional service improves modestly. But he said consumer and commercial spending has weakened. I think he meant consumer and commercial spending has weakened, particularly in China, and a continued emphasis on cloud-based service for AI have led Intel to reduce its 2024 total addressable market. During the fiscal second quarter, Intel announced that Apollo would invest $11 billion in a joint venture around a chip manufacturing plant in Ireland. I guess where the 3 and the 4 are going. The company also introduced Xeon 6 server processors along with Gaudi 3 accelerator for AI tasks. In addition, Intel disclosed in May that the U.S. Commerce Department was revoking export licenses for consumer items to a customer in China, widely believed to be Huawei. You know, they're not going to let Huawei do anything here. Intel said fiscal second quarter review would still be in its previously announced range of $12.5 billion to $13.5 billion, but below the middle of the range. So I guess a little lower than expected. Thursday's out line up with that update. The jobs reduction, which will affect about 15,000 employees, will mainly take place this year, Gelsinger wrote in a memo. It's the largest of any single job cut. March 2020. Oh, it's layoffs, FYI. Okay. Simply put, we must align our core structure with our new operating model and fundamentally change the way we operate. And we've yet to fully benefit from powerful trends like AI. Our costs are too high, our margins are too low. On an adjusted basis, Intel has said it expects around $20 billion in cuts this year, 17.5 billion in 2025, and more in 2026. Well, that doesn't sound good for the future. After hours drop, Intel stock had lost 42% of its value. Wow, so far this year, while the S&P 500 index was up almost 14% in the same. So while the 500 is going up, they're going down. That's not good. Now, Intel is looking ahead. It has relied on Taiwan's TSMC to make AI-compatible Lunar Lake PC chips. We've heard a lot about Lunar Lake PC chips, which reached a production release last month. The next step Oh, Dave said, George, go easy on Amazon. Josh, he says, yes, I understand, but I gather Josh is doing very, very well there. Dave's my ex-son-in-law and a great, great guy. Annette, I guess she's off to work, or getting ready for work tomorrow. And I know you always catch the very glad you popped in. Okay, last paragraph. Clearly, as a lot of tiles externally in 25, we bring those home 6. That's when we start to read the benefits of the model that we put. Your product starts in 25, deliver big time in 26 and beyond. So hopefully it's getting better in 25 and 26. So they think. And Ted, I think, is in here. Ted, are you in here? Oh, he was in here. Now he's gone. Just as I clicked on it, he's gone. So I guess that bodes well for us in the next few, I hope. Anyway, I was buffering for a minute, but I think you guys got everything. So let me get out of this. And hopefully Ted is going to pop back in. But I guess I'll move on to the next story as soon as he does come in. Second story, and hopefully Ted will pop in. Net neutrality put on hold by Sixth Circuit. I found this on The Verge, so let's go take a look. Net neutrality is on ice. The Supreme Court's Chevron ruling opened the door for an appeals court to block the FCC's net neutrality rules. Now, of course, the providers are very much against it, net neutrality, so that's an ongoing fight. And this was by Lauren Feener, quite late. So let's drop it into reader view. Get rid of some of these ads. Net neutrality is officially and we were all okay. I just started buffering. Okay, guys, I'm back. Lost internet connection for a minute, so I connected to a different router. Hopefully, we'll be okay. And I'm still on the net neutrality story, and I'm still waiting to see if Ted pops in again. So let me go back to sharing screen. And I'll go back to the net neutrality story. So I think we should be okay. Okay, the court granted a stay extending an earlier temporary pause. This time, net neutrality will be blocked until the court says otherwise after reviewing the petitions from broadband providers, that's who's always against this, who opposed the rule. Those internet service providers successfully showed they would likely succeed on the merits of their challenge, the panel of judges wrote. So this is the Sixth Circuit. The American public wants an internet that is fast, open, and fair. Federal Communications Commission Chair Jessica Rosenwasser, terrific lady for us, I think, said in a statement on the stay. Today's decision by the Sixth Circuit is a setback, but we will not give up the fight for net neutrality. Good for you. Net neutrality. The FCC voted to restore net neutrality rules earlier this year after years of back and forth on the rule. Net neutrality is the concept that ISPs shouldn't discriminate against different websites by blocking or throttling speeds or access. The controversy, and see, the ISPs, they want to be able to throttle whenever they feel like, or when they think they're losing money or something. The controversial part of the policy is the mechanism by which the FCC has tried to enforce these rules. By reclassifying, and this is a big deal, by reclassifying the ISPs as common carriers under Title II of the Communications Act. ISPs have resisted this reclassification in large part because they say it could lead to even greater government control over their businesses and that they say would stifle innovation. Yeah, they don't want to be held more accountable for what's on their platforms. For example, they say the classification could be used to impose price regulations, though the FCC has said it's not planning on it. Well, nobody trusts what government says either, so I can understand that. Pardon me. While restoring net neutrality was always going to be contentious, its fate looked even bleaker after the Supreme Court gutted Chevron deference, a legal standard where courts deferred to expert agencies in many cases about regulations. So sure, if the courts are deferring to expert agencies, well, the carriers are the experts. So I can understand how that would be perfect for them. Experts predicted net neutrality would be ripe for disruption after Chevron's downfall, and they were right. And the judge's opinion notes that prior courts that upheld net neutrality relied on Chevron. So the fact that they knocked it down, that would put it on hold again. Okay, good. Thanks, Dave. In a concurring opinion, Chief Judge Jeffrey Sutton writes that the FCC's flip-flopping on net neutrality between administrations, that's true, every time we get a new president, it flips again, makes it difficult to even apply the lower standard of Skidmore deference. I don't know the Skidmore deference, but I guess that's what we want if we want the net neutrality. Thought to potentially be a fallback now that agencies can no longer rely on Chevron deference. Citing Skidmore, Sutton writes, so I guess we'll learn something about Skidmore here. An agency's power to persuade turns on the thoroughness of its reasoning, its technical expertise, and its consistency with earlier and later pronouncements, especially those contemporaneous with the statute's enactment, he writes. The problem is we do not know which group of experts to respect. That's very true. Ted, are you back? I'm trying to add Ted. Okay, there you are. Well, I think you're frozen. You're kind of, I don't even know if you can hear me.
What's up, guys?
Okay, there he is. Okay. And you've got the blinds across your face. Anyway, let me get to the end of this story. Have you been listening?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I think Jessica Rosenwald is a great is great for us, but it seems like the providers are going to continue to give her a hard time. He adds the consistency query makes matters worse. The commission's intention to reverse course, yeah, for yet a fourth time, so that's how many times we've been back and forth, suggests that its reasoning has more to do with changing presidential administrations, that's for sure, than with arriving at a true and durable meaning of the law. That's very true. So it's up in the air again. It hasn't died yet. And my feeling is as long as Jessica Rosenwald is on the case, we have a shot of this succeeding. But right now, the providers are winning for the moment.
Hmm.
So let me stop screen for a minute. So, how are you? Everything good with you?
Yeah. I think Chevron deference is, well, it's dead now, so I guess it doesn't really matter now. But Chevron deference is where the courts would, not even the courts, but, well, the courts affirm that it's the regulators that have the authority to interpret the law from Congress.
Okay. When we say the regulators, we mean the ISPs.
No, not the ISPs, the federal, like the FCC,
Like the
like
okay, yeah.
the FCC or the
And of course,
FDA.
the ISPs are totally against that, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
So yeah, Chevron deference. So when the Supreme Court killed Chevron deference, that means it's the judges that now it's up to them to interpret what Congress
Right.
meant whenever. So companies like ISPs can now just take the FCC to court all willingly, like, hey, we don't like that judge. And of course,
Here's my buddy Michael, and Michael, I think, has worked in some of this stuff. Net neutrality is a bad idea wrapped in typical innocuous language. As a former IT director, which he is, and a third level net tech, I'm completely against
oh,
the idea. I've written several blog posts explaining why. So I think Michael's on the other side from where you and I are, because I think you and I both think net neutrality is very good. Now,
important.
Michael is saying they're just muddying it up, so we can't understand it. Maybe he's right. I don't know.
No, let's go
My,
to see. Let's go on a segue into his blog post.
to his well, I don't know where to find Michael's blog post right
I'm sure
now.
he'll if
Michael,
he
if you can
yeah.
give us a link to something short, that would be good.
Oh,
And I'll
the best, your best blog post. Something be short. They're gonna
oh,
try to
pardon.
do the best you got, Michael. Come on,
All
let's
right,
give him a chance.
show a little respect. Michael's not as old as I am, but he's still an old fart. So, okay, all right.
But,
If he sends me a link, I'll certainly pull it up and let us see what it's all about.
in the
Meanwhile,
meantime,
I'm going to. Okay, he says I'll link to 3, but they're not short. So we're gonna have to pick one out. All right, let's see. Let's see if he gives us a link in here. I'll certainly pull it up. So how's the bicycle? While we're waiting, how's the
Bill
bicycle?
hasn't got it. We don't have to wait. Like we can just go to the next story. But the Michael's been good. We can just go to the next story in the meantime.
All right. Next story. You want the Apple Intelligence? You want to take it?
Let me get the Amazon one. Actually, let's do the Amazon next, since that's very Chevron deference.
All right, we go to Amazon. Now, my ex-son-in-law is in here. His son works for Amazon and has been moving up very nicely lately. So that's why he's very much pro Amazon. All right, I said Consumer Product Safety Commission final decision holds Amazon responsible for inadequate, faulty products recall. And this was on The Verge. So, all right, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. And looking,
I guess I should drop it into reader view.
I got it. Amazon must recall dangerous products properly, even when sold by third parties. All right. I was, now I'm starting to feel for Amazon on that one. Amazon, not third-party sellers, is responsible for properly recalling hazardous items that were sold on its marketplace. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. By the way, so I guess bear in mind, without Chevron deference, now
Okay.
Amazon could take this to court. I guess could take the Consumer Product Safety Commission to court over this.
Well, they probably will, I would think.
If it's if they find like a wiggle room in the laws and say, oh, maybe you're
But
interpreting
now keep
whatever
in
too
mind, they
harshly.
haven't been fined yet, so there's no final decision here yet. So go ahead.
The CPSC says Amazon failed to adequately notify the public about more than 400,000 recalled products. Even though Amazon stopped selling those products and attempted to alert buyers, the CPSC decided Amazon needs to follow approved recall procedures designed to keep the problem from using, giving away, or reselling dangerous items. When the CPSC helps a company recall a product, it doesn't just warn buyers, it warns everyone. Amazon products sold between 2018 and 2021 include faulty carbon monoxide detectors, hair dryers that pose electrical shock risk, flammable children's pajamas.
Yeah, that's heavy duty there.
In the decision in order, the CPSC says Amazon downplayed the severity of the hazard, telling affected customers about a potential safety issues regarding a recent purchase rather than explicitly labeling as a recall. Yeah, one is definitely different than the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you want to downplay setting your children on fire. You okay?
It's the CPS says Amazon notices downplay the dangers posed by the. And this is the notice I see here. Product lifted above is either a product the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has informed us or our product safety team has identified may fail to have mandatory immersion protection, possibly resulting in an electric shock that the hairdryer comes in contact with water. If you have this product, we urge you to stop using it immediately and dispose of the item. If you have purchased this item for someone else, please notify the recipient immediately and let them know they should dispose of the item. Amazon is applying to refund in the form of a gift card to your account. You could view this. That looks standard of fare, though. A potential safety issue.
Exactly.
Oh,
So they're not even admitting it.
they never said it was a recall. They just like, hey, heads up, potential
Yeah,
issue,
exactly.
but it's actually recalled because it really is the issue. Yeah, okay, I see it.
All right, I'm going to drop back into reader view.
You're not sharing the screen, by the way.
I thought I was. Sorry. I
Amazon.
thought I was. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Amazon's notice didn't include easily accessible pictures of the recalled item, which you're supposed to have pictures of recalled items. That's true, man. Which are supposed to help customers identify them. The company did not incentivize customers to get rid of the hazardous products, offering gift cards without requiring customers to return them or provide proof they destroyed it. That's something other companies often do to make sure companies don't hold on to a dangerous product. In 2021, the CSPC sued Amazon to get the online retailer to fully recall thousands of faulty items on its marketplace. While Amazon argued that it's not responsible for recalling goods from third-party sellers, the administrative law judge on the case ruled that Amazon is a distributor and is responsible for issuing recalls. Today's decision affirms the ALJ's ruling. Ooh, look at that. Look at that pajama. That's easily found. It looks actually nice, too.
Yeah.
Amazon has since launched a page dedicated to recalls, allowing users to view product recalls and safety information for items that they bought on Amazon. The company says it plans to appeal the CPSJ's position. There it is.
There.
In the event of a product recall in our store, we remove impacted products promptly after receiving actionable information from recalling agencies, and we continue to seek ways to innovate on behalf of our customers. An Amazon spokesperson says in a statement provided to CNN, our recall alert service also ensures our customers are notified of important product safety information fast, and the recalls process it is effective and efficient. The company didn't immediately respond to the Verge's request for comment. With the CPSC's approval, Amazon must now implement a new plan to notify customers about the hazardous products and encourage them to return or destroy the items.
So the CPSC is basically saying Amazon's not doing enough to notify people about this stuff. So
about recalls.
Yeah. So it's going to be an ongoing fight. And they said they're going to appeal. Now, back to Michael. He said, can't post some comments. Some doesn't. Okay. But,
Oh, then you
but
can
I
post
haven't.
links to your comments.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Michael, if you want, send the link to one of my, whichever phone number of mine that you have of me, and I'll find a way to get it up. Because I have two of my phones with me. Actually, I have two different. I have my OnePlus 12 and my OnePlus Open. That's what I took to work today. So I know Michael has my phone number. So if you want to send me one of the links on my phone, I'll find a way to get it up there. Anyway, all right. So we can continue on. So I should go back to the Apple Intelligence story, and I'll do that one. So I just said Apple, now this is just my opinion based on some of the videos I've seen since iOS 18.1 has been released, which I do not have on mine. But I said Apple Intelligence a hit after iOS 18.1 beta release. Again, this was on The Verge.
Mm-hmm.
Apple releases iOS 18.1 developer beta with the first Apple Intelligence iPhone features. New and of course, everybody was excited for these things. New AI features from Apple are available to test on the iPhone, iPad, and Mac in early developer previews. I know Will has the preview, but he's the only one I know right now that has it. By Emma Roth, and this was from 3 days ago. Okay, let's drop into review. I'm trying to watch to see if Mike sends anything. Okay. Apple has just released a developer betas for iOS 18.1, iPadOS 18.1, and macOS Sequoia 15.1, giving users access to the company's first set of AI features. Some of the Apple Intelligence features arriving with the beta include Siri. Yeah, everybody's talking, or at least I saw a few articles yesterday about how Siri was way better. Includes Siri with an updated design and ability to maintain context across multiple requests. New mail features like Smart Reply and email summaries, natural language search in photos, and other tweaks, according to 9 to 5 Mac. Bloomberg reported that Apple will likely roll out some Apple Intelligence features like Siri's larger AI overhaul later, running well into 2025. So we should be getting some of this in the regular.
You should be in with this. George? Did he freeze? He froze like an antelope in headlights. Come on, George.
If he gives us the link in here,
Well, let me persevere. Okay.
a modem. Okay, we came back. I didn't get kicked out this time. So let's see. All right. To install these updates, you need an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, or for iPads and Macs, a system with an Apple Silicon chip, which I could put it on my MacBook Air, I guess. Once they're installed, users will have to join a wait list, so I don't see the point. I might as well wait till next month. From the settings menu of their device and wait for a notification that it's ready for them to access, as seen in this screenshot. So I guess this screenshot here. It gives you the usual message, join the wait list, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother doing that. At the same time that the first 18.1 previews came out on Monday, 9 to 5 Mac reports Apple also released a second public beta for iOS 18 with some of the features seen in a recent developer beta, like RCS support. Yes, Will was sending me and Michael some stuff from RCS from his iPhone because he has the beta. And I gather with at least with my stuff, he was saying that it was showing that RCS wasn't working, and then it was showing that RCS was working, and then it was showing that it wasn't working again. On my end, I changed nothing. So it sounds like it's not working right. So keep in mind, it is a beta, but at least Will did say it, and he was able to send at least a couple of messages to my Android phone, and at least one of them came back looking to him like RCS was working right, and then two came back looking to him like RCS wasn't working right. Like I said, it's still a beta. Okay, like RCS support on more carriers, a new set of CarPlay wallpapers, and the ability to use dark mode widgets while in light mode. Oh, that's different. Okay. Apple first announced the AI features coming to the iPhone, iPad, and Mac during its Worldwide Developers Conference in June. It released a public iOS 18 beta on July 15th. Apple hasn't typically released the betas for follow-up software updates before the public launch of the initial version, so the fact that they released two, I guess, is special, which should accompany the launch of the iPhone 16 this fall. But splitting its AI updates into an 18.1 update and starting to test them with developers now could help the company quash bugs, like the RCS bug, I guess, and test features before they become widely available, without any potential to impact the launch of phones and tablets as they start to ship with iOS and iPadOS 18. So people are excited about it, and I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't see the point in me getting the beta when it'll be here in less than a month.
Yep, September.
Yeah, so or not less than a month, in a month, I would say. So that's that story.
It'll come around sooner than you think.
Well, that's true. Time flies when you're having fun. Is that the idea? Okay. Okay, now I have an ASML story. That's a very short story. And I have the Taco Bell story. You have a preference? Ted?
I'll go for the Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, the ASML story is very short, so I'll read that. All right. I just said export restrictions won't affect ASML and partners. I just said thank you very much. This was on CNBC. So ASML shares popped 7% after a report that U.S. will exempt, and this is the thing, they're exempted from the usual China bans, allies from new China chip restrictions. This was from yesterday by Aryan Karpel. That's the best I can do as far as pronunciation. Hope I'm not butchering his name. So let's go into read a view. Like I said, just an interesting story, I thought. Shares of ASML jumped as much as 10% on Wednesday after a Reuters report suggested that the company could be exempted from expanded export restrictions on chip-making gear to China. So I guess they're expanding the restrictions, but not to ASML or their partners. Reuters reported on Wednesday that the U.S. is considering expanding the so-called foreign direct product rule, but that allies that export key chip-making equipment, including Japan, the Netherlands, and South Korea, will be excluded. So they've excluded entire countries, which I guess is great. Exports to China from countries including Israel, Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia will be impacted by the U.S. rule, according to Reuters. Taiwan is the home of TSMC, the world's biggest chip manufacturing plant. So I say included Taiwan in the ban, but okay. This comes in contrast to a Bloomberg report earlier this month, which suggested that companies from these countries would be included in the expansion of the rules. So they split them up. The foreign direct product legislation frames that any company that produces semiconductor-related products using even a small part of American technology, like Huawei, they can't do anything, may not be able to export those goods to China. This U.S. rule can impact foreign companies since they often rely on American technology. Netherlands headquartered ASML, a critical semiconductor firm because it makes a machine that is required to manufacture the world's most advanced chips. Yeah, everybody uses their stuff. Was trading around 7% higher at 3:59 a.m. Eastern Time in the wake of the Reuters report. Shares of Tokyo Electron, a semiconductor equipment maker in Japan, also closed more than 7% higher on Thursday after the report. I can see why. Both these companies' shares fell after Bloomberg's initial report earlier in the month. So Bloomberg thought it was going to be bad news. For these companies, it was good news. Semiconductors are a key focus in the technology trade war taking place between the U.S. and China. So I just thought that was good news for AMSL
For
and
them, yeah.
whatever countries that got excluded from the ban. Okay, last story. This one's going to be on you. I just thought, now I just said, will Taco Bell AI make you say yum or yuck? And I don't know if you heard it earlier, that I said yum trying to be funny because the company that owns Taco Bell and KFC is called Yum Brands.
Let's see. The global franchise has announced that it will be integrating AI to the operations of Taco Bell drive-through locations throughout the U.S. "Quote unquote" on throughout.
Exactly.
Will your
Yeah.
next late
All
night
right,
order
go
of
into reading
diarrhea
you.
fuel? By Lucas Ropek be taken
Good.
by a robot? It's not totally clear. What we do know is this: new forms of automation are coming to Taco Bell, and they're coming soon. On Wednesday, Yum Brands, the company behind voice AI technology for multiple fast food franchises, published a press release saying that it would soon be rolling out technology at Taco Bell drive-through locations in the U.S., targeting hundreds of stores by the end of 2024. This technology is already in use at over 100 Taco Bell drive-throughs across 13 states, the company said. Yum Brands is integrating digital technology into all aspects of our business with exciting new capabilities, and AI is a core piece of that strategy, said Lawrence Kim, the chief innovation officer at Yum Brands, in the press release. We're expanding and accelerating our AI capabilities like voice AI to deliver leading edge technology to our franchises and enhance the consumer and team member experience. The company says that it's designed to enhance back of house operations for team members and elevate the order experience for customers. In the past, fast food franchises have spoken about the desire to use AI to take customer orders as well as augment key augment key parts of a worker's activities. While the jury is still out on how well this technology works, public facing automation hardly ever leads to a better customer experience. Just look at how annoying those automated corporate voicemail systems are. Ugh. That doesn't stop them from companies from using it, though.
Exactly.
It's also really easy to envision a scenario in which AI ordering systems don't work very well or malfunction all the time. Imagine rolling up to a Taco Bell at 11:30 at night, dreaming of a stuffing Sup- Crunchwrap Supreme, only to find that the robot taking your order is algorithmically borked and can't take your order. Slowly, a line of cars materialize behind you, and the other nocturnal eaters begin to get antsy. Your stomach grumble, your mind races, a horns blur in your ears as you argue with the robot that will never register the desperation in your voice nor the tears in your eyes. All right, this guy's a bit melodramatic. Yeah, that doesn't sound
He
very good.
came up with the absolute worst scenario he could, you notice?
Yeah, that doesn't sound very good, does it? Then again, maybe it won't happen. McDonald's notably tried to integrate AI ordering to a system by a partnership with IBM, and after years of flailing, finally gave up. Considering the Taco Bell has a lot of more items and a lot more ingredients to customize than McDonald's, it's easy to imagine that they're going to be rough waters ahead. There's also the looming worry that AI comes automated surge pricing, a
Yeah, that could
feature
be.
that got Wendy's into hot water earlier this year. The big award might be for people who work at fast food restaurants. Despite claims that companies won't use AI to lay off workers, such products can't help but seem destined to help companies reduce headcount. Some predictions have suggested that millions of fast food workers could lose their jobs over the next few years if companies could successfully automate key parts of their workflow. Hmm.
So
What do
let's
you think?
hope that doesn't happen, but I don't know when this is going to roll out, but I just thought, okay, I tried to find interesting stories that you don't see everywhere. Well, I found one this time. So now Mike just sent me a text. Let me see if I can find a way. Okay. He said, let's see. I accidentally pressed dial instead of message. Okay. Now he sent me an article, why net neutrality isn't neutral. All right. I'm going to try typing it in to a actually I can get out of here. I'm going to try okay. Let me stop screen. I'm going to try typing the whole thing in, see if I can get it that way, because I think that's going to be my quickest. And we'll see if Mike has a good argument against net neutrality. Okay. And I guess this is from his blog. Bear with me, folks. Mike Living, K-E-L-I-V-I-N-G. He's on WordPress too. WordPress.com /20. This is from 2014 /11 /11. So I guess it's from November 11th, 2014 /y -net. Hope I typed this right. -NEUTRALITY -isn't NT neutral let's see no, it's NEU. I knew something was wrong. NEUTRAL. If I typed it right. Okay. I got it. All right, I'm going to share screen. You want to read it, Ted? That's right. I read the last.
Yeah, I'll read it.
All right, let me pull it up here.
Thank you.
Okay. And let me put it into reader view if I can, because it'll make it bigger. Let's see. This is by Mike Livingston. Okay. All right. Why net neutrality isn't neutral? Oh, yes. Can you see it, Ted?
Yeah, I see it by our very own Mike Livingston.
Mike Livingston. Yeah. Okay. When you're ready.
More people seem to be weighing on the issue of net neutrality. By the way, this was in 2014, guys.
Yes.
On the issue of net neutrality, cite this or that source as the appropriate reference standard. First, let's look at the title, net neutrality. Wow, who could be against that? That's like saying, I'm for apple pie and moms. If, however, you are a person that wants the government to control apple pie output, flavor, and along with that, how your mother should dress, you have a good idea how the heavy hand of the government regulates and ultimately taxes, then claims various ways to fix the problem it created. The definition of reasonable network manager is problematically vague. Who will manage this neutrality and how? Well, the FCC would manage that. What will be the cost associated with this management? Well, that's going to be decided by taxes. And why do we think we need it? Because you can't trust corporate interests to be in line with customers.
Well, I think his point is it's saying you can't trust the government either. But go ahead.
Let's start this out by attempting to answer the straw man proposal as to why some people think we need it. The straw man repeatedly used by advocates of the internet government regulation state in the following case as justification. Evidently, Comcast, the internet service provider or ISP, decided that they weren't receiving enough revenue in their contract with Netflix, a content provider. The netizens example went on to say that the Comcast throttled down Netflix content into subscriber homes until Netflix relented and signed a contract paying higher content delivery fees to Comcast. As far as the produce of net neutrality is concerned, this demonstrates the need to pass new laws and provide further government oversight into arbitrating who gets what content and at what speed.
And I can see why people would think that. based on that, can't you?
I mean, yeah, but that's just only one example of an
Yeah, well, okay.
ISP showing favoritism in terms of internet service.
Okay.
So far, without getting a bit technical, we've managed to examine the entire concept and clearly can see there's a problem, and the government will solve it. Wait a moment. In this, another one of those not so clever rehashed debate concept, the data is in, the debate is over. Proceed with more government control. It's fairly simple. You make the intended party pay more through squeeze taxes of some type until the cost of doing business with you is less expensive than the alternative. Heck, even the mafia did that with the protection racket, something our own politicos have been doing to us for years. See, the problem is a really limited problem, meaning it affects one ISP and one content provider. If we think that somehow things will get a lot better if we turn over the keys to network management to a single organization, being the FCC, a federal government, and it affects all aspects of the internet, then how is this better? The conceptual idea proposed by some is to have the FCC assert authority over all broadband. The problem is never with simple concepts, it's in the execution, and so far, our government doesn't seem to know how to execute without serious negative consequences. Here's where I believe the advocates of net virtually have gone down the wrong path to seek remedies for specific issues. If Comcast or AT&T or another service provider is tampering with bandwidth allocation, then maybe it's time to assess why they have this power and what should be done different. It started out wrong, as any centralized authority will do once it has a lot of power. It abuses that power. Here's what I mean. Local communities permitted the government to control which service provider connected to your home or business. These contracts were often awarded to those who could apply the regulators with best perks. This meant that there wasn't any real competition. You got cable, internet, and phone services through whom they dictated. And if Time Warner, Comcast, Cox, AT&T, and Charter service providers isn't doing a good job, you can't fire them and still get your service.
That's
These
true.
service area monopolies have been set up by the politicos in the first place. Now, somehow we are supposed to believe the federal government will regulate the total neutral authority. You got to scroll up a bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That will benefit all and harm none. You're dreaming. I want to make another point about why this isn't a good idea, but I have to discuss it from a more technical point. You see, although let's go hash up the last point he made up in the previous paragraph. Like if someone has, if a service provider has, almost like a monopoly in an area, then
Right. Which they did generally with cable.
yeah, it's cable, or even like now, like Canada City in New York, like governments do have to come in and regulate them, because
Right.
otherwise, what's to stop them? Like customers can't say, I'm going to take my business elsewhere.
Exactly. And that's his point. Yeah.
Maybe he's going to argue in further down that says, the government should just step in to break them into smaller pieces, but we'll see.
It's in my mind, I was saying the government stepping in to keep them from doing the buffering, when they wanted to and that kind of stuff. But maybe, like you said, maybe he's going to argue further down. So let's continue.
The internet, you see, the internet is a mystery to most people. They expect services like water pumped into your home. However, there's more to it than that. The internet isn't just about above mentioned service providers, it's far more comprehensive. The internet started as a combined effort of university and government defense work. Communication of what became the internet was between government and university labs. The private sector wasn't a part of it at an earlier stage. To this day, traditional commercial service providers only handle a portion of the internet traffic. Whenever a data packet leaves its source, the destination is tagged within that packet. Unlike a fish that must go up one stream, the packet lives on through many streams, controlled and managed by many providers through many routers. These routers are the traffic managers of any wide area network and are managed by IT professionals working for a company, educational institution, government facility. Typically, the management portion of any network is to eliminate bottlenecks while providing the fastest route between equipment. The server you connect to may not be in the same state or even the same country, and for government to oversee all of this requires tremendous resources and costs which are individually shared. Ultimately, there's little to be gained by an ISP limiting bandwidth on specific content.
But they've been doing it anyway. That's why I'm thinking we
Yeah,
need
but
it.
they've done it though, so it looks like
Exactly.
they've been willing to take the risk to see this. The example used describing conferences was resolved without a heavy hand of the government, Interesting to because Netflix
Yeah,
killed.
because Netflix
Interesting.
caved in. Yeah.
If Google competition was already stifled by government, the service provider would have lost some of its customers to a competitor, and this would have altered the behavior. Supporters have cited the increased cost of Netflix paid to Comcast, but all I see was the service is now $8.99 instead of $7.99. This doesn't age well, does it?
Well, it tells you it's a long time ago because it costs a
Yeah,
lot more than that
2014.
now. Yeah.
It's although I wouldn't put all of that on Netflix. Having to deal with congestion charge. Some of it is just
Yeah.
Netflix's own inflation. So,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
we have a comment. Micah has a
Okay.
comment.
Mike says there's a way I can talk real time with you. I can let me see if I can send you the invitation. All right. Michael wants to argue his point. Michael is very good at arguing his points, trust me.
Can we save this for next week?
No. Let me see if I can put it in right now.
I
Um,
gotta do it next
I'm
week.
going to try to
What have I
invite him right
done?
now.
What have I done? Let's do it for
Yeah,
next week.
this was your idea. Now you got to live with it.
Let's
At
do it
least
for
you'll
next
get to
week.
make. All right, Mike. I'm going to. Oh, I don't have your
Let me
email.
proceed with the story. And just imagine
Uh,
how much more costly the internet would be if the government steps in with stewardship as the stewardship of the internet. This is being proposed at a time when the majority of people don't approve of their government leaders. 2014. That was
no,
Obama with the government, and now
that would be Obama. Yeah.
some want to turn over more authority to the people who really complain about their lies and catering to special interests. At least with private sector, there are limits to their control. What? That's got with the government, and they get like to do more. They will. Okay.
I'm trying to. I'm going to see if I can get a.
Scroll down a bit. At least with the private sector, there are limits to their control. With government, you can't get rid of it. You can't see it. A bad idea wrapped in a pretty package is still a bad idea. That is true.
All right. I'm going to see if he sends me an email. Back to if he texts me his email, I'll send the invitation to him right now.
Can't you text it to him?
I don't know how to put it on my phone.
What? You can't text it?
Not that. Oh, well, let me see how long it is first.
Like the link. You can't send the link on this SMS, like how you got the article.
I probably can. Let me see if I can type it in. I never trust my typing. HTTPS.
Hi. You type in the URL. Okay.
Okay. // stream. Okay, I should be able to do it. Oh wait, he just sent me. He just sent me his email. So let me go back into email.
I can. It's 8:03.
Bear with us, folks. I think it'll be worth it.
It's 8:03. Why can't we just do this tomorrow? I mean, not tomorrow.
Oh,
we can do it tomorrow or next week.
We almost have it done. Let me a new email. Okay, MIKE space LIVING dot M. No, I shouldn't be saying that a lot, should I? Okay, let's see. Why is it? Let's see. Doesn't like. Try it this way. No, I think we're probably going to have to do it next week because I'm not having any success in typing this. I think I have it typed exactly as he sent it, but it's not sending it at all. So
Like, I think you would do it. Could you? I don't know if you could do it from your phone, or you don't have the Google
I
Messages.
think I still should be able to send him StreamYard.
Then send them the StreamYard link,
Yeah.
like on Google Messages.
/ S3 XVY RN5N5 RN5N5. All right, I just sent him the link in text. So hopefully he should be able to join us. We'll give him a minute and see if he can join us. Meanwhile, let me stop this screen. Okay. Exciting show, huh, folks? Okay. So I'm thinking Mike should be able to type that in and should be able to join us.
Type it in or click on the link, right?
Yeah, click on if he does it from his phone. Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah, stream that. S3XVYRN. Okay, looks right to me. Let's see if he gets in here or not. Okay. He's saying we can do it at a more convenient time too. If he doesn't come in here in the next minute or so, I guess we're gonna have to try to do this next week. But I would think he would be coming in any second here. And I just got a notification about another video from Louis Rossman. Oh, wait, he's typing something back in, which means he's probably not going to get in here. He's saying his mic is being blocked. I don't know anything. I'm not blocking it.
Does he mean he has to give his mic permission to use? He has to give
Maybe
whatever he's using.
Yeah,
With
but
his
he
phone
hasn't
permission to use a mic?
he hasn't popped up in here at all. And I know that in StreamYard they always say this is easier if you're using Chrome than any other browser. I know that. But yeah, how to get your mic unblocked, it's not from my end, so I don't know. So it's looking more and more like we're going to have to do this next week. And then you're going to have to be here, Ted, since this was your idea.
I make no promises.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. I guess we're going to do this next week, folks, because it doesn't look like Mike's going to be able to get in here, as near as I can tell. You see what Ted starts, troublemaker?
Nope, can't say that if trouble hasn't started.
Well, that's true, but you tried to be a troublemaker. I'm giving you credit. You know, I'm certainly not going to give you any cash. Okay, guess we'll do this next week. Well, I'm very glad you came in. I'm glad you came in at the beginning of the show instead of at the end, like last week. Very happy about that. And I'm glad you're not having any problems with the bicycle, too.
I know. I'm so proud of it. Touch wood.
All right, folks. I guess we will see you next week. Now, I'm going to try to... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I knew that was going to happen.
He's calling me on Meet. Wait, but that's... He's...
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, but...
Are we in?
No, but I need you on the StreamYard link.
Yeah, here's what's going on. I'll just tell you, we could do this next week.
Oh, yeah, we'll do this next week then. All right.
Yep.
It's Brave that's blocking it.
Oh, it's Brave. Okay.
And I could copy and paste into Chrome, but I'm wasting too much of your time.
All right. All right. We'll do it next week then.
Brave. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll see you next
All
week,
right,
Mike.
folks. We will do it next week. Yeah, I figured he was on a different browser because Chrome wouldn't block his mic. All right,
Of
so
course.
next week we're going to try to do this right at the beginning of the show, assuming Ted is here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my normal notes for the show, and as soon as Ted comes in, I'll see if we can get a hold of Mike. That's the best I can do. I do have his email.
Give Michael the certainty. You know, if he comes, you can give him like 20 minutes to state his case,
Okay, all right.
or 15 minutes.
All
Or
right,
10.
Mike, you heard what Ted said. If you're in here next week, we'll give you 20 minutes to state your case.
Oh, 15.
and I'll let
15.
you and Ted argue it out.
I mean, even if I'm not here, I can just watch it and then we do the rebuttals in the next
we
week.
need you here. We need you here.
We just do rebuttals in the next week after that, you know, little delayed response like mail.
You mean a cliffhanger every week?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Sorry about the buffering, especially, but sorry about that we couldn't get Mike in here. But hopefully, we've got a pretty good argument coming up in the
Funny
next week
enough,
or so.
it's gonna
So
be
I hope
a
you like
Mike
tonight's stories, and we will see you all next week. I hope everybody has a very blessed weekend, and let's always remember we all do better when we love each other. See you next week.